Kev, when you hosted for Diddy, did you catch any baby oil?
Diddy Combs is in jail awaiting trial in a federal sex trafficking case.
Youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old.
Nothing like a Diddy party, am I right? From 1,000 bottles of baby oil to some of the most bizarre scandals ever. It's Hollywood's wild side on full display.
Diddy forced the women to participate. Afterwards, to ensure their silence, he would use video footage taken at the events as blackmail leverage.
But are these crazy parties just some elite celebrations, or is there another juicy scandal in the making? Well, buckle up, because you won't believe what went down. Number 1. Wild parties. Diddy has a notorious reputation for throwing some of the wildest parties Hollywood has ever seen. Believe it or not, there are stories of the rapper blowing millions of dollars in a single night to entertain his guests. He's had megastars like Kevin Hart, Justin Bieber, and power couple Jay-Z and Beyoncé in attendance. But what's wrong with throwing a nice little party to celebrate your friends? Well, what if I told his parties were actually a front for something else? And that's not just me speculating. No, sir. Diddy is under some serious fire after a series of raids at his Hollywood mansions. And I'll get to that in a bit.
Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
But this isn't the first time his insane parties have been exposed. A lot of A-list celebs have spoken out against the music mogul, claiming he's known for organizing some super weird things at these parties. And oddly enough, the people closest to him are refusing to comment now, like the hilarious Kevin Hart, for example. Number 2. Kevin Hart dodges question about Sean's safety. You know things aren't right when even Hollywood sweetheart Kevin Hart is afraid to talk about something. The famous comedian was the center of attention at a 2010 party hosted at the Diddy residence. And what I'm about to say might not make sense right now, but trust me, once you know the full story, everything will fall into place. There's footage of Kevin inside a bathroom with several half-naked ladies around him. There appears to be a lot of drinks and smoke, with almost everyone clearly wasted. But what's that got to do with anything? Well, what if I told you Combs is under fire for trafficking more than 100 women? Yep, you heard that right. And when Hart was pressed about Diddy's safety in prison following his arrest, he dodged that question as if his life depended on it. That's a lot of nervousness for someone who claims to know nothing of his strange hobbies. And weren't these guys friends? Oh, and he doesn't know anything about the 1,000s of bottles of baby oil either. Number 3, baby oil scandal. Careful, don't slip. That's probably what Diddy told all of his guests, considering that he had thousands of baby oil bottles stashed at his residence.
According to the indictment against Diddy, investigators seized more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant from his home.
But that's not all. Along with an oddly large collection of oil, Sean was stacking up on lubricants as well. I mean, I get why people would hoard toilet paper during COVID-19, but baby oil and lubricants? What's even going on here? According to his lawyer, Diddy just had a habit of stacking up on essentials, and since there was a Costco right down the street, he decided to make a large purchase that day. That actually makes sense, to be honest. If only Costco sold baby oil. Number 4, Costco claps back. Nobody wants a piece of what's going on. His biggest fans, closest associates, and dearest friends have all distanced themselves from the infamous rapper. Heck, even Costco had to issue a tweet to get out of the dirt. His lawyer was shut down right away after Costco tweeted how they don't sell baby oil at any of their stores or online. Oh, and as far as the Freakoffs are concerned, that's an actual event on the Diddy calendar. His lawyer sort of hinted at the event, stating it's just some consensual adults performing consensual acts, and that he had so many lubricants. But what are these Freakoffs he's talking about? Well, it isn't looking too good for Diddy. Number 5, Freakoffs. Imagine walking around in Hollywood when all of a sudden you see Diddy approaching with his entourage. He thinks you're cool and decides to invite you to one of his parties. But after you get to the party, you find out that you have to switch off your phone and put it inside a locker. I'm guessing there's a reason he doesn't want anyone recording these freak-off events, because at the end of the day, they're just massive sex parties. There are stories of Diddy hiring hundreds of workers, both men and women, to attend these wild events.
Diddy forced the women to participate. Afterwards, to ensure their silence, he would use video footage taken at the events as blackmail leverage or simply threaten to ruin their career.
Oh, and before I forget to tell you, Diddy's the only one there with his phone out, recording everyone in the act. A lot of people now believe that the recordings were actually used as dirt to exploit Hollywood stars. Seems like this is exactly what's gotten him in trouble. Number 6. A series of frightening lawsuits. This video is about to get dark, people, and as more people step forward to testify against the rapper, Diddy is apparently losing it in jail. He's being held under special protection at the MDC. And what's interesting is that a former inmate of the same facility claims to have some insider news. The rapper is super paranoid right now. He plain out refused to eat and has no idea what to believe or who to trust. He's landed himself in jail after a lawsuit by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Ventura claimed Diddy was a freak who'd have her perform certain acts with male sex workers while filming the encounters. And even though this lawsuit has now been settled, this is just the start of Diddy's misery. He's facing another charge by Thalia Graves, a former model, suing him for assault and other things I'd rather not mention. Number 7. Singer Good Riddance breaks the ice on Freakoffs. Frankly speaking, the 54-year-old is well beyond his peak now, and the only direction for him from here is downwards. This isn't exactly a lawsuit, but it doesn't make anything better for him either. Friday claims she met Diddy back in 1999 at a record store while he was signing some autographs. And despite being only 16 years old, Sean still invited her to his extravagant party. On a side note, who does this guy think he is? A modern-day Gatsby? Anyway, Friday told the rapper that she's underage and doesn't have an ID, and what Diddy said next will leave you shocked. He told the singer that she didn't need to worry since there was going to be no checking at the party. But that's not all. He convinced her to come, claiming there would be 2 parties and that she'd be invited to the second one later. What was the second party? You guessed it, a freak-off. Good claims there was a locked room with a ton of A-list celebs inside doing God knows what. But even outside, people were clearly getting it on. Friday then added that she left the party, stating the entire experience left her feeling like a piece of meat. I mean, I'm no legal expert, but she could just be called as a witness during his next hearing. Number 8. 48 Hours with Diddy. I bet you were waiting for this. Everything is starting to make sense now. And the fact that almost everyone once affiliated with Diddy is refusing to speak out says a lot. I'm also not sure why this wasn't concerning back then. It's only after all the allegations that people start connecting the dots. Bieber was only 15 years old at that time when Diddy made him spend 48 hours at his residence, all alone. That's strange. Apparently, it was more of a mentorship, but Justin went through some serious issues after that episode. He pretty much broke down, talking about all the different horrors he faced as a young star in the industry. Whatever happened was so bad that he's actively reaching out to younger stars to lend them a helping hand. Plus, what's up with all the wordplay? Usher definitely made things worse after talking about how they can't really disclose what they're doing. I mean, come on, you're with a minor and saying the strangest, most incriminating things ever. Anyway, as of right now, Bieber's social media is getting bombarded with messages and comments, practically begging the singing idol to expose Diddy while he still has a chance. But what do you think? Does Sean have something to do with all the trauma faced by Justin in the past? Number 9. Comedian Jeff Witk shares his experience. Ready for another crazy freak-off story? Before I get into it, let me quickly explain. About a decade back, Diddy's party was the talk of the town. There's a reason why LeBron says, there ain't no party like a Diddy party. But for someone who has no idea what goes on, it was a real eye-opener for comedian Jeff Witk. Witk was able to score an invite through one of Sean's close acquaintances, and thinking it'd just be a regular party, he showed up, looking all sharp in a nice polo and khakis, but he was clearly underdressed for the occasion. Jeff claims everyone there was in lingerie, even his acquaintance, who was in a see-through dress. And that's when the party started. A variety of drugs were distributed among the guests, who, according to Jeff, then had sex for several hours.
As I saw live sex happen that night, and that's the first time I saw that happen ever in my life.
But don't worry, Diddy arranged aftercare too. After several hours of this, IV fluids would be distributed to help everyone recover from the copious drug use. Honestly, the more I hear about these parties, I'm not surprised at all why he's facing a lawsuit for this. Number 10. Now I know too much. She knows, and I know she knows. What's J. Cole hinting at here? Well, this might come as a shock, but fans think Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Diddy had something to do with the death of Aaliyah and Michael Jackson. Far-fetched, but the fact that the song was taken down off YouTube doesn't really help Sean's current situation. But hold up, J. Cole actually wrote a song about getting into a fight with Diddy, and the lyrics are kind of shady. He talks about being a huge fan of Diddy and how he pretty much spent his entire childhood listening to his songs. But back then, he didn't know a lot, and now, well, let's just say he knows too much. Was that reference to Diddy's alleged Hollywood sex cult? I guess we'll never find out, but if one thing's for sure, J. Cole absolutely hates Combs. Number 11. Allegations from more than 120 people. Diddy is about to be hit by a storm. Over 120 people are preparing to sue him for abuse and assault. And here's the shocking bit. There's a 9-year-old in the mix. This poor soul claims Diddy abused him while he was auditioning at Bad Boy Records in New York City.
Some of the alleged victims were blood tested at the time, and test results found a horse tranquilizer drug in their system.
Now, again, this is just an allegation, and I don't want to jump ahead of anything and make accusations, but wait till you hear this. There's a 15-year-old boy who claims Diddy approached him, claiming he'd make him a star as long as he met him in private. Diddy, why do you need to meet a 15-year-old in private? Plus, I can't help but wonder, what did Bieber really mean when he mentioned his complicated friendship with Sean? Keep in mind, the singer was only 15 years old when he was made to spend 48 hours at his residence. There's a ton of other similar accusations, and if you ask, I think this isn't going to end well for a lot of people in Hollywood. But hey, at least we have guys like Denzel, right? Number 12. Leaving the party before the devil arrives. Denzel Washington is one of those actors who isn't afraid to speak out. Despite all the rumors of Hollywood being a bunch of devil worshippers, Washington is like a ray of light. He's relatable, humble, and very modest. And maybe that's one of the reasons why he hasn't held back one bit when it comes to the recent allegations against Diddy. Believe it or not, Denzel even mentioned how he often used to leave Diddy's parties before the devil got there. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but whatever it is, it's not good. There's even a story of how the Hollywood superstar blasted Sean at one of his parties in early 2003. Apparently, some unnamed witnesses claim Washington told Diddy off for losing his path and disrespecting everyone. Denzel was then photographed storming out with his wife, and that's the last time we ever saw him at a party. Again, I said this before and I'll say it again. It's strange how some of Diddy's oldest friends have refused to comment on the allegations, and those against him stand firm, almost as if they know he's guilty of something. Number 13. A win for women. Aubrey O'Day is one of the select few who actually talked about Combs' arrest. I gotta hand it to her. At least, she's not afraid of having the spotlight on her, but hasn't that always been the case with her? Anyway, when Diddy finally got arrested, Aubrey shared a story on her social media, calling it a win for all the women in the industry. Things are finally changing. Let's hope they are. But wait, there's more. While talking to TMZ, the Danity Kane singer shared how she's well aware of what's been going on. In fact, almost everyone in the industry knows what Diddy has been up to.
now it's on record that is capable of, at the very least, doing that. A lot of people suggest a whole lot more.
My only question here is, if Aubrey really knew, why didn't she speak out earlier? Was she afraid of something? Or worse, was she also an alleged victim of Diddy's theatrics? I'm not sure, but it's important to realize that these are some serious allegations. Let's hope she has what it takes to back it up if ever needed. Number 14, Cat Williams hits hard. Cat Williams, ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed GOAT. If you ever want to know what's really going on in Hollywood, do yourself a favor and listen to Cat. He's known for spilling the truth with absolutely zero filter, making it extremely awkward for reporters and other celebs. And when news of Diddy's arrest broke out on social media, Williams was one of the first to comment. He shared how this isn't just about Sean anymore. A ton of celebrities are about to take a hit as he's about to snitch on everybody. Maybe that's why all of his friends are quiet now. Maybe this is the silence before the storm, as Hollywood is about to get exposed. Let's just hope some of our favorite stars aren't caught in the mix. Number 15, Kesha isn't holding back. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Well, sorry, Kesha, but that certainly didn't age well, did it? But it looks like she's here to make amends. And when she found out Diddy got busted, she quickly changed the lyrics and debuted the new song at Coachella. I'm not sure though, was it a PR stunt? Or did she mean something by the sudden change? Wake up in the morning saying FKP, Diddy. Well, I don't know, guys. Help me out here. I'm not sure, but I think she doesn't like Diddy. Believe it or not, she's going to change the lyrics permanently and wants her fans to sing it.
Departing from the original lyrics, the duo kicked off with a provocative twist, singing, "Wake up in the morning like forget P. Diddy."
Louder than ever. She also mentioned how she has integrity and stands up for what she believes in. Well, Kesha, why don't you just spill the truth and tell us what you believe in? It feels like all these celebrities are just waiting for the final nail in the coffin before they start speaking out. Number 16, Sug Knight warns Hollywood. What Sug Knight said is probably poison for some of Diddy's closest. He's often positioned himself as a confidant of the public. He claims to know everything shady happening in Hollywood and wants his fans to know he's the most credible source out there. Well, it looks like the credible source has finally spoken, and it's not good news for Diddy fans or acquaintances. He claims Sean isn't about to go down without a fight. When it's finally his time to speak in court, he's going to name and shame everyone involved. I bet Jay-Z and Beyonce are hiding in the corner right now. Anyway, Sug also spilled the tea about Diddy's crazy drug abuse. The rap mogul is apparently addicted to several substances, and when he starts going through withdrawals at jail, number 17, dodged a bullet. I'm not sure if you know, but Diddy and J-Lo actually dated for a few years. It was back in the late 90s, and boy, did Lopez dodge a bullet. Believe it or not, she actually said Sean gave her the ick early on in their friendship, but it was only after some time that the duo fell in love. All that ended, though, when Diddy was thrown behind bars after authorities found a stolen pistol in his vehicle. That's when J-Lo knew it was time to dip. But the reason why I brought it up is a lot of Jennifer's close friends claim she was a different person then. She became oddly secretive and would never talk about her relationship with Diddy. Her friends warned her about it as well, and that just makes me wonder, why do people always get a bad feeling about him? Number 18, a Netflix documentary. 50 Cent must really hate Diddy, but I don't think it's personal. For a guy who's been shot like 9 times, I don't think there's a lot that scares 50. And maybe that's why he's willing to go above and beyond to give voice to the voiceless. The enigmatic rapper is working closely with Netflix on a documentary centered around Diddy's abuse in the industry. But why is he doing this?
50's been trolling Diddy online ever since the civil lawsuit started flying last year.
What's in it for him? Well, you gotta imagine, with over 120 people accusing Sean of sexual abuse, 50 probably feels its job to help them fight their cases. And what better way than a documentary for the entire world to see? There's no official release date as of yet, but you can expect it to hit Netflix sometime in 2025. Oh, and just by the way, all the proceeds will be used to support victims of sexual abuse. Way to go, 50. Number 19. Mark Curry breaks under pressure. There's a certain way these things work. Labels are like a brotherhood. If the label goes to war, everyone goes to war. And you'd expect members of Bad Boy Records to be loyal to Diddy, but it looks like even they're starting to crack under pressure. Mark Curry sent shockwaves in Hollywood after revealing a terrifying secret. Diddy would spike champagne bottles at his party before women drank from them. Let me repeat that for you. Diddy has been accused of spiking drinks that were being served at his party. And this isn't just random speculation. This is coming from someone who's super tight with him. Diddy better start praying now. Number 20. His son is in on it too. Again, just an accusation, but there's a twist in the story. It turns out Diddy isn't the only one in the family who's in trouble. His son, Christian King Combs, has been making controversial headlines for quite some time now. He was accused by a former model of trying to assault her on a yacht.
Collect call with Sug Knight, where he is serving a 28-year sentence for voluntary manslaughter.
Even the captain was in on it. As the model claims, Diddy paid him off to keep the matter under wraps. It's just too much at this point. I'm trying to wait for the hearing, but there's a dozen accusations against the entire family. If I were to start talking about all of the accusations against the Diddys, this video would probably be an hour long. And besides, it's not like Sean is innocent, right? He's been caught on camera before assaulting Cassie in a hotel. Number 21. Cassie wasn't lying. This happened back in 2016, and Combs eventually had to confess since he was caught red-handed. He assaulted his former girlfriend in the most brutal way ever, giving her a black eye. Cassie claims the rapper was extremely intoxicated and became super violent as she tried to leave the hotel. Well. It looks like Cassie wasn't lying, and perhaps that's the reason why Diddy was so quick to settle the matter. What option did he have, though? He can't lie his way out of this way, but your past follows you around like a ghost, and it looks like it's finally caught up to him. Number 22. Just in it for a quick bag. It's interesting how a lot of people sued Diddy after this footage emerged online. Maybe they thought they were alone, or maybe they couldn't see the same thing happen to another person. But Sean, on the other hand, believes it's all a bunch of lies. He thinks most of the accusers are just in it for the bag. I mean, it's a little insensitive to say that, don't you think? He could have handled the lawsuits much better by asking them to prove it in court. But nope, I bet he's having a lot of fun in jail now, thinking how he's going to explain all that baby oil. But yeah, Diddy is standing strong and claims he'll go to any length to protect his character, reputation, and family. Number 23. It's not about the money. Here's a quick question for Diddy. What about all the people who have money, though? I mean, what does Sean have that 50 Cent could possibly want? Or what about Dawn Richard? She's had an extremely successful career as a singer, and the last thing she'd need is money. So there's a reason why she's speaking out and telling everyone how it's about time Combs faced the consequences for his actions. Number 24. Charlamagne. The God weighs in. There's no better way to put this. If you've been butt naked with Diddy, or even half naked with Diddy, you're going to jail. Or at least, that's what radio host Charlamagne thinks. That's pretty much what I've been saying as well. Diddy isn't in this alone. Everyone who's partied with him is about to face the music. And trust me when I tell you this, it's not going to be pretty. Number 25. It's about time. Well, either way, we'll find out what happens in the coming months. But I am happy how things are finally moving along. It's about time. We've heard the strangest stories about him and his parties, and it's only fair we get the truth now. But yeah, if we're about talking about Diddy being weird, there's no denying. I mean, he's a grown man calling other grown men daddy, so I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe Meek Mills could tell us. Anyway, that's it from my side, folks. So, what do you think? Are the allegations against Diddy true? And what have you heard about his crazy parties? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos in the future.